Yo, what is up YouTube? So today I want to talk about should you pull for Yaeno Muteki, a new trainee, or the support card banners featuring the SSR Speed card, Twin Turbo, and the SSR Guts card featuring Ines Fujin. If this is helpful to you, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Use code MAMBO for 10% off your gamer subs. Let's get right into it. So Yaeno Muteki is a pretty cool Umamusume. She has a really interesting design. Let me go ahead and play her victory poses and her animation here. You can see that she's very much based off like a karate style. I think Kyokushin is the style, right? And she's a fighter, she's a warrior, right? Here we can see her unique skill. If you ever played Tekken, it kind of looks very familiar, right? Very, very cool character, right? So let's talk about her kit. So she is going to be a mile and medium distance runner pretty much. You can go ahead and just raise this mile affinity pretty easily. And she is also going to be a pace or a late surger, okay? And if we take a look at her kit, we could see her unique skill highlights some of her really cool performances in real life. Peerless Dance of Flowering Flame says, if the user passes another runner on the final corner or later, increase velocity with Fiery Fighting Spirit when in the front part of the pack with 300 meters or less remaining. So what does this mean? In the final corner, if you've overtaken someone, then in the final 300 meters, if you're within the top 4, get a 5-second 35, I believe centimeter per second, maybe a meter per second speed boost, right? But 35, basically it's not greatly, right? And so this should be a pretty nice speed boost towards the end. It's a sort of end game speed boost. And so what are the tracks that best utilize this skill? Well, it pretty much matches on to what Yaeno Muteki accomplished in real life. Yaeno Muteki is most known for his victory on the Tenno Show Autumn, as well as the Satsuki Show, which uniquely took place in Tokyo, as opposed to Nakayama, which it usually is. So if we take a look at the Tokyo 2000 meter, which is where he won Satsuki Show Tokyo 2000 meter and Tenno Show Autumn, Tokyo 2000 meter. If we take a look at it, then we can see that if we basically hit this acceleration zone, this late race, and we overtake someone, then on the last spur, which is basically around 333 meters, she's going to get a speed boost pretty much all the way to the finish line, which is perfectly matching essentially her in real life accomplishment. So Yaeno Muteki has a pretty good skill here, and it seems like she is kind of well fitted or designed to sort of excel in the Tokyo 2000 meter. I personally think that the best way to get the most out of her unique skill is by having or inheriting Nishino Flower's unique skill, which is Budding Blossom. Budding Blossom says if the user engaged in a challenge on a mid-race corner, increase acceleration when well-positioned late race, at least halfway through the final corner. It's basically the perfect unique skill for this track. Usually this skill, Budding Blossom, is not typically good on medium distance tracks, but uniquely for Tokyo 2000 meter, it's amazing. It's amazing on Tokyo 2000 meter. It's also amazing on any mile distance tracks. So Yaeno Muteki and Nishino Flower pair very well together. If Yaeno Muteki manages to inherit this skill, this unique skill comes online and it's pretty much always going to be able to be used. If we take a look at the rest of her kit, what else do we have here? Well, we have Ramp Up as well as the gold version. It's on Potential or Awakening level 3. And this allows Yaeno Muteki to increase velocity when she is passing another runner mid-race, which basically matches and doubles up on the effect here, right? On top of this, we have Pace Chaser Corners to allow her to get even more velocity, which is really good. This is a very good skill, very cost efficient. On top of this, we do have Unyielding, so increased ability to fight back when passed by another runner on the final corner. So even if someone were to pass her on the final corner, she can regain her position, overtake, and basically try and utilize her unique skill. So altogether, like, her kit is very synergistic. It is all about that final corner, and it is all about trying to sort of overtake or retake the lead and speed boost out of there, right? The only problem with Yaeno Muteki inherently on her kit is that she doesn't really have that much acceleration. She does have corner acceleration. It's not very reliable. She has Unyielding, which does provide some acceleration. And so, like, you probably would like this skill, especially on the tracks that she wants to excel in, right? Fighting Spirit is very interesting, but it's not typically very good, especially considering its cost and the conditions needed to apply for it. It's mostly a late surger skill, and I do personally think that Yaeno Muteki is very nice as a pace chaser, especially with Budding Blossom. All this to say, is Yaeno Muteki and Umamusume you should pull? Obviously, if you like her, right? It's a very good Oshi pick. As far as like if she's a very good parent, the answer is no. If she's a very good racer, she's good on the Tokyo 2000 meter, but again, she still needs to solve for acceleration, which, you know, hey, we have Nishino Flower now, who is very good with her unique skill. Okay. All right. So moving on, let's talk about the support card banner featuring Twin Turbo Ines Fujin. Now, these are cards that have been, I'm pretty sure, released at launch, and so we're pretty familiar with how these cards are and how they work. Twin Turbo is a frontrunner speed card, and for her stats, I believe it's pretty bad. We have 10% training effectiveness, we have speed bonus, right? Low specialty priority, so it's not very good, but we do have all the training multipliers here. As well, we have 5% race bonus. It's still just not a very good card stat-wise. The most that she gets is 75% mood effect, which is pretty high as far as like mood effect goes, but it's just not a very good, you know, support effect, because mood effect also amplifies when you have awful mood, right, or bad mood. It's not very good. And if we take a look at the hints, we have Moxie, we have Fast-Paced, Leader's Pride, Early Lead. These are good hints. However, I don't think it's enough to compensate for her bad sort of specialty priority with her training effectiveness, or rather her training boosters, right? And this is max limit break. If you get like 0 limit break, it's just not very good. And on top of all of this, right, even though she does provide taking the lead, which is a very key acceleration skill for frontrunners, especially in the early game, what is really bad about Twin Turbo is her chain events. If we look at her chain events, basically, no matter what option you choose, you have a chance for this chain event to end. And so you're not going to get taking the lead, right? You pick the top option, you're doing a roll here, you might end it, but maybe you progress. If you progress, you might end it again. Okay, and finally you get the third one, where you might not even get taking the lead. You might just be stuck with a white skill early lead, right? So it's RNG on RNG on RNG, and it's just not very good. So very easy reason to skip this banner. Can Ines Fujin save it? The answer is not really. Now, Ines Fujin, don't get me wrong, she's not a bad Guts card. She's actually probably one of the best Guts cards out there, especially if you borrow this card. If you borrow this card at maximum break, you have 15% training effectiveness. So when she's off Guts, right, you're getting a lot of you know, training effectiveness on your other stats. Not only that, she has speed bonus. She also has 5% race bonus, so she's very usable in Track Blazer. She has friendship bonus. She has mood effect, right? Again, 15% training effectiveness, and also she has specialty priority of 80. So for Guts training, which is what you want to do for Track Blazer if you are running a Guts deck, Ines Fujin is like the best stat stick for Guts. And on top of all of this, she also offers very good hints. Level 3 hints, 50% hint frequency. She has Slipstream. She has Playtime's Over. She has Moxie, which is a very good consistent heal for front runners. And if that wasn't enough, you have skills from events. On her chain skills, she has Restless, which is the gold skill version of Moxie. Fast pace, I'm not too sure exactly where you get this. I guess it's from this random training event, which is not bad either. I mean, that's a very good front runner skill. So like all in all, like really good gut stat stick, even if you're not building a front runner. But if you are building a front runner, amazing, right? But just for guts decks, and we all know that if you're building a guts deck, it's usually guts, 1 speed, and like 2 weight cards. It's very guts centric, and so like if you don't have the pieces to make a guts deck, it's just not going to work. You're not going to get a lot of value out of this card. This is a very easy skip, but that being said, if you do pull this card, if you pull multiple copies somehow, then you have a good card here. And definitely if you're looking to borrow something for your front runner, you want to try out a guts deck, Ines Fujin is a very good guts card to have in your deck. But that's going to be it for me. If this was helpful to you, make sure you guys like and subscribe and use code MAMBO for 10% off your gamer subs. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.